Okay, so this is the April, yeah, it's April 2024 koha-US Web Dev Sig. George is here to share what he had for lunch. He just now got into the audio, so we'll give him a minute. Hey,
Are you
George.
asking what I had for lunch?
Yeah,
I
I was
just
just
finished
starting the
lunch.
recording.
Jimmy John's today.
Jimmy John's again. Nice.
Yeah, it's
Um,
convenient for this meeting because they're just down the street.
so does anybody have anything they want to talk about? I have a few things I can share, but if somebody else wants to jump in first, I'm happy to let you. Crickets. Um, so the main thing I've been working on, so I've talked about a lot of this stuff already. We decided as a consortium to turn on the privacy timeout thing, which I put on the wiki, where if the account is idle for 3 minutes, it automatically exits the account. We were using that for statistical use patrons, and we've expanded it to everybody. And I've only got one library that really hates it, so I'm calling that a win at this point. Um, and then I did a little thing with patron messages because we're in a consortium, and the way we had it set was only the library that put the messages on could delete or edit them because that's a system preference. Um, and that's the only option on that system preference other than let everybody edit it. So we ran into a lot of frustrations with that because if a patron moved from one town to the other, there were all these notes on the account that said things like update the address, that sort of thing. And the only way to get those deleted was to go back to the original library and have them delete them or change a branch code, which we don't allow. So I wrote some jQuery that instead matches the patron's home branch to the logged in branch and then change the system preference to everybody can do it and then hit the option and then enable the option for that match. Um, so those are like the two big things I pushed in to production recently. I've also been working on the overdues notice thing. I'm getting closer. My last sort of step on that was to create like a button or something so the staff members can just click it and get directly to today's notices. And I went down this whole big rabbit hole and I can show you where I'm at with it. It's not done. But I made so I started here with just a link that says today's print overdue notices for overdues. And then I'm like, well, they're not open on Sundays, so I have to make sure Sundays print on Monday. So I built this dumb revolving logic where if it's Monday, it runs it for Sunday through Monday. If it's any other day of the week, it runs just that day of the week. Which is stupid because half my libraries are closed throughout the week, so I mean, it's not really accommodating them. So then I thought, well, maybe I need to do like a little prompt here where they can pick their date. Um, and then if it's a Monday, it'll do Sunday through Monday, but otherwise they could pick the different days. So that's where I'm at with it right now. This link works, doesn't work on my test server because I don't have overdues on my test server. Um, this one doesn't work yet. I've been playing with Flatpicker to try and make it do the things I want it to do. But then I got distracted this morning because of stuff. So one of the things, so we got upgraded to 3 point whatever the current point version is last night, and it broke my slips because I have on my issue slip a little block that pulls in account lines information, um, so that it'll print like if the patron has fines and charges along with their overdues and things. And I can't show that in this. I gotta go to the live server. Um, so like the issue slip would give an 500 error because of that special little chunk of code, which I don't know where it came from. I don't know if I wrote it. If I did, good for past me because it's complex. Uh, um, but it's this little chunk of Perl here is going out and reaching into account lines to pull in information um, from the borrower to get their outstanding balance, and then it's printing it down here to say, hey, you owe this much money. But what broke was, and I still got an error here. It was a different error before. What broke was before I had the hungry alligator syntax here, and that completely killed the slip. So when I swapped it out for template toolkit syntax there, I still get the error, a different error, but it works again. So if I go to like patron, fine, and print the slip, then I get this block that says fines and charges, you have outstanding charges. But when I got to work this morning, it would go from there to a 500 error. So that was a fun thing I had to deal with. And then we're also noticing weird stuff with transfers. So I got to dig into that, but
So which version are you on now then?
we are on, let me find it, 2305.10. We were on 0.09 yesterday.
We're still on 0.9 today, so
So that's something to be aware of, I guess.
I can report that with that point upgrade that we were loading a whole bunch of local cover images and they appear as broken links on the staff side. But then on the OPAC, they're actually displaying fine. But from the staff side, you're thinking, well, it didn't work. What's the problem? And that is a bug they're looking at. And then also in acquisitions, when you try to bring in a new mark file and load it into a basket, there was a big blank screen and you couldn't see the text, and that has been pretty much temporarily solved by just a little piece of CSS, and then there'll be a fix pushed out for that too. So we've noticed those two things.
Yeah, I've got the cover image thing happening on my test server. I noticed that yesterday, but it's not happening on my production server. I don't know if it's just like, I don't know. It's strange, but I saw that too. And I found a bug yesterday when that was messing with it. It had to do with like security tokens and things like that. It's like doesn't have the right levels of permission. So hopefully they get that fixed sooner than later. I couldn't find a workaround for that one though.
Makes me wonder what other things might crop up with this point upgrade.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out this transfer thing because I had two this morning that were like behaving strangely. Like we had one thing just sitting in, it wasn't in transit, it was like transit pending or something. And usually we don't run into that at all.
I've never even heard of transit pending.
Yeah, and I pulled up the patch notes for this bug patch earlier, and the only thing that has transfer is like transfer book should not look for items without a barcode. That's not what it was. So I'm wondering if some setting is off. I don't know. And I haven't had time to dig into it, and I probably won't till tomorrow. Hi, Lucas.
Hi, everyone.
We're just talking about uh the current bug fix patch and all of the strange things that have been happening.
About which one? Sorry.
The 0.10,
Oh,
2305.10. So
are you finding problems?
I ran into issues with my checkout slip because I have some special template toolkit in there that is pulling account line information onto the issue slip, and I had errors coming up from that, but I got that fixed for the most
Okay,
part. There's still an error there, but it works.
there was some security things that had to be backported. That yeah, kind of began limiting what we can and cannot do there. They're important like security fixes.
Yeah, and then Barbara brought up the issue with the cover images, local cover images are broken on the staff side, but not in the OPAC. And I see that on my test server, but not on my production server. So weird.
What is broken? Not loading.
So we loaded them, and on the staff side, it appears as a broken link. And so my staff member who's fairly new is kind of like, I keep trying to do this and it's not working, you know. And so I opened a ticket and they said it's a bug. And then looking at the bug, it appears that they really are loading. You just can't see them on the staff side, but they are fine on the OPAC side. So I learned that.
You happen to know the bug number?
I will look.
Let me know.
And then the third thing that I've got that's going on weird is like strange transfer messages. Like this morning we ran into one that had a transit pending instead of a like in transit status, but I haven't had a chance to figure out what's going on there. Because usually we never have pending transfers.
Okay.
So that 36511 is the cover image issue, apparently.
36511. Oh, but this is pushed. Oh, this is the problem, maybe, because this is in 230510. We'll have to look.
I was, you know, satisfied that at least it's going to the public, so that works for me. You know, it's not a huge issue now. I was like, oh, they're all gone, you know, because we have a ton of reading
Oh
kits
yeah, right.
and kits, and you know, we have all these things where they take a picture of all the fun parts that are inside, but the public can still see them. So
Okay.
no biggie.
Okay.
And I figured it was just something I broke on my test server and no one cares. But yeah, we're seeing that too. I mean, I think that's all I had. Is there other stuff, Lucas? Do you have anything to share with us this month? Something
I
cool?
don't. I don't have anything particular to share. Just came to listen really and listen and learn.
We did talk about at the acquisition SIG, Rhonda's interested in using the new reports templates for like a processing type slip. So I'm excited to hear people are like thinking about ways to use that because it's a really powerful tool.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest uses too is going to be inside the acquisitions module where there's a lack of maybe slips, and libraries sometimes need unique ones, so it's sort of perfect for that. I've done a few already too. In that
I'm
capacity.
interested in what'll be in the patron slips portion of this that's coming in the next update in 2311.
Yeah, that me too. That'll be similar but different, and
Yeah,
we'll like to see what people come up with there.
Can you explain more about that one?
That one is, so when you check out or you're on a borrower's account and you have print slip and print quick slip and some account summary and some of the other stuff. Account summary is hard coded. That's often asked to be changed to do this or that. And that enhancement is going to allow for custom patron slips in that area. So like, for example, one probably good use case is going to be holds. If you want to print holds, past holds, future holds, whatever, stuff like that. So it's going to allow you to make custom slips right there and add them to that menu. And
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
This is not.
I'm looking forward to having, like, you click that drop down, there's like 50 different options there.
Cool. I'll be excited to see what you come up with, George.
I can see some of my staff wanting to go that direction. You know, I want a slip for this, and I want a slip for that, and I want a slip. Each library is going to want 10 of their own slips times 50 libraries. So.
This is not necessarily I guess, a web dev thing because I'm wanting to use it really in reports. And probably at one of the meetings, Jason, you talked about, well, let me back up. The thing I was trying to accomplish was I have a report that I have a date and a hard-coded time in it. This is for POS. And then you and someone else had two different things I could try. And yours, Jason, I think was something about you did something with the flat picker calendar, or you had some add-in for the flat picker calendar that did something with dates. And I haven't looked at it recently, but I remember I tried doing something and I wasn't successful. Do you remember what that
Yeah,
was?
you can enable a time selector on the flat picker. Flat picker has that as an option, and I think that's what you were needing was the ability to set the time as well as the date. Um, we didn't like that was a quick and dirty. This is possible thing. We never like revisited how
Right.
to make it work cleanly. But it's you can initialize the flat picker to have that. I think maybe Lucas can help us understand that better.
Yes, maybe, but maybe I don't understand
Well, the
in what
reason,
capacity you're using it. Because so are you using it like a custom page or something like that?
no, we're running a report for POS, and we sometimes need to adjust the 24-hour period of time because of things that happen in POS. So if I run the report just based on a date range, sometimes it's picking up. They have to make adjustments in the morning for errors that staff make. And so sometimes I would like to really run that report after they've made some of those adjustments, I guess. Trying to think it through as I'm talking. And so we had a time range that we wanted to use, and Bywater helped me get a hard-coded time range in the report, and that's been working for the most part. But then sometimes we felt like maybe we needed to be able to, select it ourselves.
Okay,
So
in a flat picker.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the way I can understand what you're trying to say is that when you do a variable in a report in the double angle brackets and then it has pipe date, you want an option for pipe date time, not just pipe date, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that sounds like a good thing to file a bug on. Also,
Yeah, I would file a bug on that for sure, because that's
Okay.
something I think a lot of people could use, but I don't know how hard it would be to add that into Koha.
enabling a flat picker to choose times is easy. It's already there, like on the checkout page, you do that. The difficult part may be the formatting of the time, and if it's going to be something that works with a SQL report. So depending on how difficult that is, may be able to jQuery something in there, because to add the time bit, you just give it one of those attributes in HTML, a data dash enable time or something like that. So that's the easy bit. The hard bit may be the formatting of that date time string.
I will open a bug and maybe also open a ticket.
That sounds like a plan.
What else do we got? Web Dev or not?
I haven't done hardly anything with Koha lately because I've been working on Aspen. So
I
trying
did
to,
add your little card number thingy to that print menu that's gonna be 50 notices long. but the staff are really here at least are really enjoy that. So thanks for that.
yeah, and I'd like to say that that was something I came up with. You know, that's not something I came up with like last week. That's like 5 years old that I just had never put on the wiki. So I added that when the Leavenworth libraries went from Envisionware to Cybrarians, and that was before the pandemic. So that's how long that's been kicking around. So. And I look forward to getting rid of that with something in the new slips, custom slips process. So it won't have to be jQuery anymore.
Well, we were thinking with the being able to run a report from, well, I don't know if it's that. Sometimes I think and talk at the same time and it all gets muddled up. So never mind.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've broken recently. Reports that do interesting things, but not really.
I did start playing around with the report templates, and I've been having fun with that, but I haven't produced anything that's even remotely useful yet.
My overdues printer thing is like this close. I found that my report was excluding things that were overdue but not overdue enough to trigger a notice yet. So I added another column to the report for that. So I think that I've got like complete information, and I'm like I shared earlier that just getting that button to get them to where they need to be is the last step, and then I'll have it start testing it at a couple of libraries. I got past the whole every library has 3 templates thing with some extra like branch code selectors or something. So I'm almost ready to actually see if it's usable in real life, I think. And then the next thing, and the thing I want to get done before the conference is setting up like a sort of dashboard infographic-y thing with it to do like monthly reporting in a visually appealing way. Because I put that in my conference presentation that I would talk about that as well. So I have to get that done. I started to, and I think that there's potential, but I just haven't had time to work on it yet. Well, we almost made it half an hour. So George is talking, he's muted. I'll stop.
Yeah, we just aren't doing a lot lately.
Yeah, I've been super busy, so I haven't been able to display as much as I want. But hopefully I'm getting caught up. My scraps of paper around me are slowly getting dwindling. Oh, there's one that's sort of web devy. We're having issues with the bookshelves carousels. So we use those on our member library websites. The report I'm using, well, it uses Amazon. So the report I'm using like normalizes to the ISBN 10, and that works for the most part. But if Amazon doesn't have the cover image, then it puts a blank, sometimes, not always, sometimes a blank on the carousel. And it doesn't doesn't have a cover image because it has an ISBN. It puts like a 1 pixel by 1 pixel square instead. So I was trying to find a way to like fall back onto local cover images with it, but I can't do that because there's an ISBN there. So I'm struggling with that one a little bit.
This is the bookshelves plugin for WordPress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it does use local cover images via the bib number, but I would have to somehow tell the report, hey, if it's a 1 by 1 pixel image, put the bib number in that column instead of the ISBN in that column. But I think it's really just a problem with the plugin, so maybe I should talk to the plugin developer instead and save myself some time.
Those 1 by 1 pixel by 1 pixel images are tricky because they think they're images. They are images.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're using the cover flow plugin, and there are items that Amazon doesn't have a cover image for, and so we're getting our little placeholder no cover image found. And the biggest problem is we have one for large print books, and a lot of those don't have images. And so what I'd love is for it to be able to just say, and I'm sure this isn't possible because it's like the image happens after the code runs, I assume. I don't know. So I'd like it to be able to say, if you find this image that's like no cover image, don't show that one. Just so I don't have all those. I hate having those blank things in what I want to be, putting out there as actual images.
I do that, and I have some code I could share, Barbara, but you may not entirely like it because if you have, say, 16 images in a nice square thing, we may, depending on how that loads, eliminate 1 or 2 of them, and so you have some missing bits. If I remember right, you have a static cover flow, and so I can share that code, but that's sort of the drawback there. Is
might be worth a try.
Yeah, I guess it's what's worse to you, blank spots on your cover flow or those image placeholders.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I could share that with you.
It'd be nice if there was a way you could get it to populate the grid with all just generic images, and then when it finds the other images, have it replace those. So have the default be your generic, no cover image available kind of replacement, and then if an actual image is found, replace the generic image with the cover image, the actual cover image. Does that make sense?
I think it would still replace that with the 1 by 1
Yeah.
square though. For mine,
You'd probably have to tell it, I'm sure that there's a size, like in bytes probably, for how big those images are, and anything smaller than a certain size, just exclude those. But that's something I don't need, so I'm not going to work on it.
Well, I think I'm out of problems to share today. If anybody else have anything before we close up shop here? I'm gonna say no. Let's call it.
See y'all later.
Thanks everybody for coming, and we will do this again next month.
See you on Tuesday, Jason.
Oh yeah, see ya.